Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Talk of the Town. Steve Putnam, glad to be here with you today as always, and I'm glad you tuned in to be with us too, because if you don't watch, we don't have a show. We also don't have a show if we don't have people to talk to. So we're going to swing the camera around and introduce you to Miss Jamie Henderson. She is Work-Based Learning and Skills USA Coordinator for Cleveland Community College. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you here with us today. And I think this might be, I could be mistaken, but might be the first time you've had the opportunity to be on our show.
I have been on some of the shows that we have, but I don't know that I've been on air with you before.
Yeah, I don't think so. I hope you read the fine print, because once you sit in the red chairs, you're obligated to come back.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, you didn't know what you were getting into, did you?
Oh,
Well, well, we're glad to have you.
absolutely. Thank you.
Now, that's a mouthful. Work-Based Learning Skills USA Coordinator. I know that's something that some people might go, well, I think I might know what that is, but just in case we've got a wrong idea, tell us a little bit about what being a Work-Based Learning and Skills USA Coordinator for Cleveland Community College is all about.
Well, Steve, every day I get the opportunity to work with students to place them in internships and earn college credit. So it could be that students are already working in their field, and so I work with their supervisor and we come up with some objectives to help upskill them in the position that they have, and then in turn earn college credit for that. Or for students that are not working with a company already, we look for companies here in Cleveland County or even outside of the county if we need to, so that students can get hands-on learning in their field. And we have internship opportunities in programs from plumbing to surgical tech to IT. So it ranges throughout many of the programs that CCC offers. And the great thing about it is you know, once the student completes, then that's going to be, you know, another thing to put on their resume. So they actually get that hands-on learning while they're in school. A lot of times too, Steve, at the end of those internships, it turns into a full-time job. So, and that's what we're here for. You know, we want to see those students out, you know, get out into the world and succeed.
That's pretty cool. Now, how long have you been a part of this?
So I have been with the college for 3 years now, but in this current role, I've been the Work-Based Learning Coordinator and Skills Coordinator for 2 years.
Right, so you've been at it for about 3 years, and I know that one of the people that works with you is one of my favorite people, Miss Amy Doolin.
Oh yes, she's one of my favorites
so
too.
So got to give her a shout out.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, she's just been here forever.
From what I hear, she put one of the bricks in, but I could be wrong.
I think she may have, because no, I was here for 22 years, and she was here during that time as well. So know Amy real well. So I know that she's up to here in that program too. This has always sort of been the area where she's worked.
Yeah, so I'm actually following in her footsteps. She at once was doing the Work-Based Learning coordinating, so I've gotten the opportunity to learn from her and take what she did and advance in the role with it. So it's been an excellent opportunity for me.
So how's it going? I know you were talking, you've had some growth and advancement in this area, like just in the couple of years that you've been a part of it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, so when I first started the position, we didn't have this role where we had one person focusing on work-based learning. And so the college had the opportunity to create a role, and so we've had the opportunity to grow the program. Before, we had the same person doing a couple of different things, and so now we have someone focusing on apprenticeships and someone focusing on work-based learning. And with that, we have seen tremendous growth in both areas. So now we have over 50 apprentices here at CCC. Oh, wow. And then with the work-based learning, we've seen numbers from like with an average of 6 to 10 over the summer. We actually have 30 internships going on this summer.
Oh, wow.
So,
so you've got apprenticeships going on, you got internships going on. You're busy. Keeping you busy then. But this is awesome. I know that when I was an instructor here, I worked in the IT area, and we kind of had to do this for ourselves. We had, if we wanted to try to get our folks, you know, placed somewhere, we kind of had to put the feelers out and see if we could find someone. But it works really well. I remember even back then me thinking, you know, because we had a couple of students that would take us up on that, and they would take, it was, I guess it was an informal internship because we didn't really set it up, but they just started shadowing someone at work, and they ended up getting a job there. I mean, they did that for about 6 months, and then when they graduated, they hired them on and they got a job. And we're like, this is pretty good. Let's keep doing this. And so we would keep trying to do that. But you're right. It's with someone focusing on it, you can get a lot more done. So I'm glad they've got you focusing on it.
Yeah, it's so rewarding. You know, when you talk about starting with them and seeing, you know, hook them up with the company and then seeing them actually get hired on full time in a career that they've chosen and they've spent this time to go to school for. It is so rewarding to see that.
No.
And it works a lot like you've had in the past too. We get a lot of support from faculty. Faculty do work with companies and we work together to identify students that might be a good fit for certain companies. And to IT, we have a new company in IT this summer, the Carolina Cyber Network.
Really?
And that was put together by our faculty, our IT faculty. They've been working with the Carolina Cyber Network, and we had the opportunity to create some internships. So we have 4 students that are interning this summer with the Carolina Cyber Network. So it's super exciting to see those, and then hopefully we can continue to do that each semester.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I know you mentioned a wide range of areas there. Is it? It's not just in vocations. You mentioned like nursing and other areas as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so we just started with the surgical tech, having work-based learning in that area. We also have work-based learning in animal science. So I actually get the opportunity to go out to the job sites. And so I must say that the animal science one is one of my favorites because I get to go out to the farms and maybe pet some horses and enjoy the scenery. And yeah, so we do have a student this summer that is interning with Case Farms.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Well, see, now you get to go pet chickens. So before they become nuggets. Okay, now this is interesting because as I know you've got actually a split job. This is I think what you said you spend the majority of your time doing is working in this area, but there's also the side of the Skills USA side, and that's a little bit different, isn't it?
It is. So with Skills USA, it's a national-led organization that's student-led, and we get the opportunity to take students to compete in their skills. So we have students competing in IT, students competing in nursing, medical math. We also had students competing in machining areas. So we took students back in April to compete at the state level. And they showed out. So they really did a really good job. And we had 11 of them get first place. So with that, they actually get to go to nationals. So we'll be taking 15 students to nationals at the end of June to compete at the national level in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're pretty lucky that nationals is
awesome.
It's close in Atlanta. we got pretty lucky on that part. But yeah, we'll be traveling there, and they'll be competing in areas such as crime scene investigation. So we have a team of 3, and they have competed at nationals before. So we're super excited to see them go back and hopefully see them on stage with some medals.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's going to happen at the end of June?
Yes, that's correct. The end of June. So the last week of June, we'll be heading out, and we will actually stay for a week. And during that week, they also get the opportunity to earn some credentials. So maybe if they want to get first aid certified, there is the opportunity to do that. And then there's opportunities to earn credentials in maybe their area that they're going to be competing in. And huge celebration, so it's going to be a lot of fun for all of us.
Wow, that's awesome. That's cool. So now that means we have to have you back in July to tell us all about what you won.
I know, I can't wait. We'll be carrying all those medals back in. So, and again, that's another rewarding, opportunity for me that, it's just as rewarding when you see a student and you help a student work on their resume and get an interview and get a job, but it's also rewarding to see them on stage after they've told you that, oh, I think I'm going to get sick, I'm nervous, and oh, I don't know that I can do this, and try to back out on you on the last minute, and then to see them on stage with that medal is really rewarding because, that's when they grow. When you step out of your box, that's when they grow.
Right, and that's one of the things I loved about working here is that, especially at the community college level, you get to see that. You get to see them learn, and then apply it. You get to see them learn and get a job. You say
Yeah.
you're very close to it, and I loved that. That
Yeah.
was my favorite part as well. So, and that's what you get to do all day. So that's I'm so
know.
envious. You get to see that all the time. That's awesome. Now I know that coming up this fall, if I know there are folks here that go to college, or they're like, wow, I'm interested in this. I would love to be a part of this. Can they approach you? Can they tell you, hey, I'm interested and enjoy? How does that work?
Absolutely. So with many of the programs, work-based learning is incorporated into their program where they can choose to do the work-based learning rather than take one of the electives. And if they choose to do that, if they are already working in a position, I will work with them and their supervisor to come up with some objectives so that they can grow in that position. And if they're not already working, then what we do is we start with a resume. So they come in and we work on a resume. At that point, we start looking for internships or even a job, full-time position, depending on what the student need is. And then once we land an interview, then we work on some interview skills, some soft skills prior to going in. And if the student then lands the interview, we get them registered for the class. And with the class, you either have to get 160 hours or 320 hours of on-hands learning.
Right.
And that just depends on what program you're in and what semester you're in college. So it could be that you do multiple semesters of work-based learning. Maybe you do an internship at one company and then you turn around and do an internship at another company. Because, it is the opportunity not just for the company to have someone, but it is good for the student to get to see if that's a good fit for them.
Right.
Is this
the
really
reality
the
of actually-
direction
yeah,
I
that's
want to
true.
go in? Because like for IT, like you mentioned, there's so many different avenues that you can take.
Right.
So we had a student last semester that had interned at a company, and then he was like, you know what, I want to intern somewhere else. Can we take this class again? And you can take it again if you'd like. And then the second company that he interned with, he absolutely loved it. They apparently loved him, and now he's working for that company, was hired on at the end of the semester. So, yeah.
And so everybody gets to see if it's a good fit and gets to really see what the job is like, not just what they think it's like.
Yeah, so if students are interested, they can email me, call me, or stop by my office. We can see if they're eligible for the work-based learning that way. And with the job, I also get the opportunity to help students that maybe may not need the work-based learning, but maybe they're just looking for an internship or a job placement. And we do have companies that reach out to us and companies that we work with in the area, Greenheck and Eaton, and just to name a few, but that are constantly looking for employees. And so we do work with students to find job placement that may not even need the work-based learning credit as well.
Well, that is awesome. I have a feeling your phone's going to be ringing off the hook.
And we hope so. That's what we
and
like.
I hope you guys do really well at Nationals, and you're going to have to come back and tell us all about it.
Oh, we will. I have a good feeling that we're going to come back with a few
I do
medals.
too. I've got a good feeling.
Yes.
And I've also got a feeling that it's just about time to take a break. But if you choose to go to the refrigerator, you have to come back because there's more talk of the town right after this.
The only prediction I'd make is I'd be pretty willing to bet I won't be doing it in 20 more years.
My question is, where's our residual checks?
144 have taken Republican ballots, and Wes and two others have taken Libertarian ballots.
Pravda, however, PBS, however.
Wes.
Wes.
Well, what-
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Steve Putnam still sitting right where you left me, but we did have a change in our guest chair. So let's swing the camera around and introduce you to somebody that's been on our show many times before, and we're glad to have him back because it's been a while.
It's been a little bit.
It's been a while.
Been a little
This
bit.
is Mr. Danny or Daniel, whichever you prefer, Deadman. He is the program director for the Neal Senior Center right here in Cleveland County. We're glad to have you on our show.
Well, it's good to be back. It's been a while.
I know. I was about to say, I didn't think you liked me anymore. You just left and didn't
No,
come
it's
back.
No, it's not that. It's just been a little bit.
Just a little bit. You've been a minute, so I'm glad you're back, though.
Thanks.
So how are things out at the center?
We're doing very well.
Now, for those of us that are going, senior center, is that for like high school senior? Tell us a little bit about, in case there is a person who actually doesn't know, tell us what the Neal Senior Center is and what it's all about.
Well, what it's about, it's a place for senior adults age 50 plus. They can come out and do activities and things that will keep them busy, keep them occupied, be able to meet people and do things, learn new skill. There's activities for like all different levels. We've got card games, bridge games. So we've got handicrafts. We've got exercise, special events like special seminars and special presentations. There's always something to do out there. So if one thing doesn't appeal to you, there will be something else that will.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you've got all this going on, and somebody has to coordinate all of this. I wonder who does that.
Good question. Good question.
Good question. And that's actually what you've done. You've done that for quite a while now.
Yeah, I'll be starting my 10th year come November.
10 years. Just blinks right by, doesn't it?
It does. It doesn't seem like it, but it's flown.
So you're still just chugging right along and loving every minute of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a little rough during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got over that.
Yeah, things ground to a stop for about a year. So, yeah, but we're coming back to life.
Yeah, but we were mentioning that just right as we were getting mic'd up and everything, though. You guys, there's a lot of places changed their hours, cut back.
We did.
You guys really, but after COVID, they kept those changes and kept back. You guys are still churning right along all season long, all summer long, everything.
We are. The thing is that when COVID did happen, of course, it affected everybody in some form or another. We did have to temporarily close for a year, and our hours were cut. Now we were still available to have like for the food pantry and for the incontinence supply program and nutritional supplement. All that was still available, but as far as people coming in and actually doing activities, we couldn't do it.
Right, right. Well, you're making up for it now.
We are now.
Because I was just looking, people can't see it, but you're holding what is a fabulous newsletter that you produce each month.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Hold that up, let people see that. That is awesome. I was thinking you were going to hold me a little sheet of paper. That's like a book that you produce every month.
And we put these out every month, and they are available in hard copy, or if you want one emailed to you on a regular basis, we have a database that will put your name in it, and you'll get one every month emailed to you.
And that's what I was going to mention, because after taking a look at that, I was like, wow, people don't know about that. They need to, because that's pretty cool. You put a lot of work in that.
Well, I do, but it's actually a fun thing to do, because it's not all just hard news. It's not all just about what we do, which is the main focus, of course, but it's also got some things in it that are fun and interesting. Like we look at nostalgia, we look at food, we look at comics, we talk about things in the old times, old days, vintage television, and the things people remember from years ago. And people seem to really appreciate that, because they can read the article and say, oh, I remember when that happened, or I can remember doing that. Because nowadays you can ask somebody who's young what a typewriter is, and they have no idea what that is.
Well, or Gunsmoke, which was one of the top-rated shows in 1967.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I did a profile on that one time, and my phone rang off the hook. People saying, "Oh, we just love the article about Gunsmoke and all that." So and then I get calls from people who say, "You ran a recipe for such and such last month. I can't find my copy. Can you send it to me?" And I'll dig it up and send them a copy of it.
That's pretty cool. So yep, I wanted people to know about that, so they can get on your mailing list for that.
Thank you.
But also, I know you guys have got a lot of things planned.
Yep.
You got a schedule. So I need to stop talking and let you talk and tell us all about what's going to be happening this summer.
Okay. Well, first of all, we do have a new activity that we'll be starting, and it's going to be starting. We'll be doing the next one. Will be on the 18th of this month, and that's going to be a Let's Meet in the Lobby. And this is a new activity we're doing, and this is to invite people to come out and get to know the staff. of the senior center, because see, when a lot of times when people come out and need a service, they only see just maybe one or two people, but they don't know everybody else that works there and who all works together to make the senior center run. So we have that set up to where they'll be able to come out starting at 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock, and they can mingle with us, have a snack, a cup of coffee, and just talk to us and ask questions about what we do and make suggestions about what they'd like to see at the center, and just a chance to kind of break the ice and get them, help us to get to know them and them get to know us.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And that's going to be on the 18th.
mm-hmm.
All right. But that's just number one.
Right.
There-
That's just not, there's
something.
more.
There's more. I've
There's
seen that
more.
newsletter. You
Oh,
got
yes.
more going on.
We got more definitely going on. And then we got coming up, we're going to start having on the first and third Fridays of each month, we're having a writing club. And this is to encourage people who maybe have never or have always wanted to write, learn how to write poetry or write stories or just be able to write any kind of good, solid interest topic. And we are looking into having a literary magazine, and that people who come in and it's not really a class per se, it's just to basically kind of show how to do this and or how to be able to put your thoughts from your mind onto paper and to make it all flow. And we're going to start doing that on the first and third Fridays, starting at 10 in the morning, and we'll be coordinating that where people can learn how to do their works, and then we'll have them put together in our upcoming literary magazine. And right now we don't know when that's going to be available, but that's something we are definitely looking into doing.
That is a cool project. That's
So many people say, I want to write, but I don't know how to begin.
Right.
And so this will help them to see, well, where do I need to start?
That's
And,
cool.
Yeah.
And once they get started, then of course, then you're going to have this literary magazine, and everybody can share their ideas.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear about that. You have to come back and tell us about that when you get it going.
I will do that.
all right, keep on. You got the
Okay.
ball rolling. You
Well,
got more to come.
One of the biggest things that we're very proud of is the fact we have a class that we did back about a month ago. It was called Smartphone for Seniors. So many seniors do not know how to use a cell phone. They have to rely on their children, their grandchildren, or their great-grands to say, I don't know what I'm doing. Show me how to do something, or how do I make a call, how do I send a text, or how do I answer a text, or how do I delete a message, or whatever. So through an arrangement, through an instructor who is from Asheville, she came out last month into a packed classroom, did a 2-hour seminar on how to use a cell phone, which a lot of people appreciated so much. So the response was so phenomenal that we're having her come back on the 18th of this month, and she's going to do it a little different this time. We're going to have her to come back and break the class into 2 sections. She'll do a class for those who have an Android phone and for those who have an iPhone. So that way she'll hit both versions, and then after that's over, she'll take 2 people at a time and say, you tell me what you don't understand about your phone, and I will show you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that way they can get instruction as a group, but then get one-on-one instruction too.
2 by 2.
Exactly. And but then the thing was that class filled up so fast that we unfortunately had to say, we're sorry, the class is full. Well, will you offer again? And I would say, well, we're planning to. But thankfully, we were able to work out an arrangements with the instructor, and she's going to be back. And
Oh, that's awesome.
oh yeah,
And that's got now. If when did you say that was coming up in June?
that's going to be on the 18th of June, and
Oh,
that's
that's the same day you're doing the
Same.
meet the lobby.
same day, and it's going to be from 10 to 12, and it's free of charge. And anybody who's a senior who has a cell phone and just needs some one-on-one help, or even maybe just any help, period, can come and take this class.
That is cool.
And they do need to pre-register, and they would need to call Jane Wright. She's over the coordination of our reservations or our classes, and she's available at 704-481-7385. Or you can call the main number at 704-482-3488, and they will transfer your call to her.
There you go. And that's coming up soon. So if folks
Yeah.
are interested, they may want to jump on that.
Absolutely.
All right, keep it going. You're doing good.
Well, we also have, there's two events that we have just for men and just for women. Well, and I need to probably rephrase that. We have an activity called Ladies Support. And this is for ladies age 50 plus who maybe, say, for example, are widowed or never married, or just maybe are having a hard time adjusting maybe to, this stage of their life where they're getting older, and maybe the children are not home anymore, or they maybe have lost their spouse, or they've just basically are just at a dead end and don't know what to do with their time. The Ladies Support Group has ladies to come in, and we have a speaker that will talk about any aspect or a different aspect of, say, something related to an older woman. Like, for example, dealing with health issues, dealing with money problems, dealing with security, especially with all the hacking that's been going on, and we hear about it all the time, how to protect yourself from becoming a victim of fraud.
Right.
We also talk about things that are fun and interesting, like sometimes we'll have a person come in and do a craft feature with them, or a craft project. They'll come in, or do some kind of a special fun activity. We even have some from local churches to come in and do devotionals with them. And they have a snack, and they have time to chat and talk to each other, and it's really an outstanding little program. And the next one will be on June 24th, and that'll be from 10 to 11 there at the Neal Center. And again, they would need to contact Jane Wright again, and they would hold a spot through calling that number, and they will reserve a spot for them. And then we also have something else. It's called Veterans Coffee and Chat. Now, this is a very, very special group. This is a group designed for people who are 50 and older, men and women who served in the U.S. services, any branch of service, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, any of those. And if you have served, you're invited to come to this group. And this group, and I have sat in on it several times, it gives people a chance to sit and talk about their experiences, good and bad. They tell all kinds of stories, like what they went through. Some of them are funny, and some of them are very tragic. And then they talk about how it's affected them as a person today. We hear about post-traumatic stress.
PTSD,
Yeah, we hear about that, and then we have people that have talked about that, and we have people who talk about still having recurring nightmares years and years later about it.
Oh, wow.
And then we have some that will talk about the time when Bob Hope came out and entertained the troops, and they talk about how much fun that was. And they talk about the fun things they did, and
Right.
which there are
That
some.
sounds like a special time.
It is, and it gives. We also serve coffee and a light snack.
So much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for working so hard for this. This is awesome.
Glad to do it.
And look forward to having you back in that chair very soon.
I will be here.
All right. And we look forward to having you each time tune into our show, because if you don't tune in, we don't have a show. So we're very thankful for that. Also, we like story ideas. info@c19.tv is how you can send us your story ideas, so we can turn those ideas into people in these chairs. But until next time, this is Steve Putnam signing off, saying I hope you guys have a wonderful week.